My hands wouldn't stop shaking the moment I looked at the clock. Only 2 hours left before he would be here. My first real date. My first chance at something that felt like a fairy tale. But instead of floating in bliss, I was practically drowning in nerves. Every time I thought about what to say, how to walk, what to wear, it just spiraled into chaos in my head. His name is Caleb. We met in college a few months ago. He has that classic charm, tall and athletic, with kind eyes that make it impossible to lie to him. But he also has this quiet intensity that makes me feel like I'm the only one he sees when we talk. I never thought someone like him would even notice someone like me. So when he asked me out, I said yes. Then I panicked. I wasn't close to my mom. She left when I was 9, and I haven't heard from her since. But 3 years ago, Dad remarried. That's when Meredith came into my life. My stepmother. She was younger than Dad, confident, soft-spoken, but sharp. There was always something so graceful about her. Some girls get wicked stepmothers. I got the opposite. She found me pacing in my room that afternoon. I didn't even notice she was there until I caught her reflection in the mirror behind me. Her head tilted slightly, watching me with that quiet knowing expression she wore like perfume. "Nervous?" she asked gently. I laughed, breathless. "That obvious?" She came in, her bare feet silent on the hardwood floor. She wore a soft cream sweater tucked into high-waisted jeans. Casual. Effortlessly beautiful. Like always. She didn't need makeup or accessories to own a room. She just was. "First date?" she asked, sitting down on the edge of my bed. I nodded. My voice cracked. "I don't know what I'm doing." She smiled warmly. "That's the best part. You're not supposed to know. You just feel it." I dropped to the bed beside her. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I mess it up and he thinks I'm weird or clingy or totally clueless? She took my hand, her fingers smooth and warm. "Sweetheart, if he's the right guy, he won't care. And if he does care, he's not the right guy." I looked at her, searching her eyes for some hint that she truly understood what I meant. She did. Meredith always did. "Would you help me? I mean, help me get ready. Tell me what to do." Her expression softened even more, and she nodded. "Of course. Start with what you're wearing." I opened my closet and pulled out 3 different outfits, none of which felt right. One was too innocent, one too daring, and one too plain. She stood behind me, studying each option, then pulled something I hadn't considered, a soft satin dress in deep burgundy I had buried in the back. "This," she said. "It brings out the depth in your eyes. And it's mature without being loud." I stared at it. I thought it was too much. "It's just enough," she said. "But only if you wear it like you believe it." She helped me with my hair, brushing it with slow, rhythmic strokes. It was oddly soothing. Like she was combing the nerves right out of my scalp. Then came the makeup, just a touch of gloss, a hint of blush, and a flick of mascara that made my lashes look like they belonged in a magazine. She knew exactly what to highlight. "What do I say if things get awkward?" She tilted her head. "You lean into it. Awkwardness is honest. Honest is good." We stood in front of the mirror together, me in my dress, her behind me. She rested her hands lightly on my shoulders, the air thick with something I couldn't quite name. It wasn't just nerves anymore. It was anticipation. Possibility. "When I went on my first date," she said, her voice suddenly a whisper, "I was terrified. I tried to be perfect. It didn't go well. The best ones don't come from trying to impress. They come from letting someone see who you really are." I turned to face her. "But what if who I am isn't enough?" She leaned in, brushed a strand of hair behind my ear. Her voice was barely a murmur. Then he never deserved you in the first place. The way she looked at me, I felt a strange warmth crawl up from my stomach to my throat. She cared. Not in a distant, step-parent way. In a deep, protective, and almost magnetic way. I couldn't name the exact emotion it stirred, but it felt new. And a little dangerous. "Caleb's lucky," she said. "He doesn't even know what kind of magic he's about to witness." I laughed, blushing. But her eyes didn't laugh. They lingered on me a second too long. There was something unspoken there, an electricity that flickered quietly beneath the surface. When the doorbell rang, I almost tripped on my heels. Meredith walked me downstairs, her hand gently guiding the small of my back. Caleb looked stunned when he saw me. Like he had to blink twice just to make sure I was real. I caught Meredith watching from the doorway, a proud and quiet smile on her lips. Or was it something more? The date went better than I could have imagined. We went to a quiet rooftop cafe. He held the door open, pulled out my chair, and listened when I spoke. I laughed too loud. He didn't mind. I spilled water on the table. He just smiled and dabbed it up with a napkin like it was nothing. When he dropped me home, I felt a strange twist inside. I liked Caleb. I really did. But when I walked inside and saw Meredith waiting in the kitchen, sipping tea, her eyes locking with mine like she could read my soul, that twist grew tighter. "Tell me everything," she said. I did. Every detail. How he smelled like cedar and coffee. How he looked at me like I was the only star in the sky. How he made me feel beautiful without even saying the word. Meredith listened, smiling softly, sometimes touching her lips with her fingers as if hiding some secret thought. "I'm proud of you," she said finally. "I felt brave," I admitted. "Because of you." She reached out and touched my cheek. Just a brush of fingers. But it lingered. "There's more to you than you know," she whispered. "One day, you'll see it too." That night I lay in bed, the date replaying in my head. But more than Caleb's words or his smile, I remembered Meredith's touch. The way she looked at me. The way she helped me find myself when I was lost in doubt. The weeks that followed were a slow dance. Caleb and I grew closer. But something else stirred in the quiet corners of my world. Meredith and I shared more glances, more late-night talks in the kitchen over tea and laughter. Her touches became more frequent, a hand on my back, a squeeze of my shoulder, her fingertips brushing mine when she handed me something. Innocent, yet not. She began to ask me questions that felt like riddles. "Do you ever feel like you're meant for more than the life you think you want? Or, have you ever looked at someone and wondered if they were sent to unlock something in you?" I never knew how to answer. One night, I had a small meltdown after Caleb and I had our first argument. He misunderstood something I said, and I cried for an hour after he left. Meredith found me curled up on the couch, makeup streaked and red-eyed. "Love doesn't mean no conflict," she said as she wrapped a blanket around me. "It means choosing to return to each other anyway." I leaned into her shoulder. She didn't move away. "You always know what to say." She chuckled softly. "That's because I see you." "Do you? Really?" "Every inch," she said, her voice a whisper, her fingers brushing a tear from my cheek with a tenderness that made me hold my breath. That one sentence hung in the air like velvet. Heavy. Soft. Meaningful. I didn't sleep much that night. As my relationship with Caleb grew, so did my unspoken connection with Meredith. It was never anything wrong. Never anything we could be scolded for. But there was a closeness, an energy, that felt like standing too close to a flame. Not burning, but aware of the heat. One evening, we both reached for the same teacup on the counter. Our hands touched. Neither of us pulled away immediately. Her eyes held mine, unreadable and deep. "Some things," she said softly, "are too powerful to name." Then she turned away. One morning, I caught her looking at me from the hallway mirror. Just a glimpse, like she had forgotten anyone else could see. I smiled. She smiled back. Maybe Caleb would be the man I'd build a life with. Or maybe he was the lesson I needed before I understood what real connection felt like. But Meredith? She was the one who taught me how to feel brave. How to see beauty not just in the mirror, but in myself. And in a world full of nervous firsts, that was the most romantic truth of all.